I want to be very clear here. I still think Zohran is going to need to have some level of grace. He has not officially taken office yet. So we'll see what happens in his first 100 days starting on January 1st. But when you give interviews like this, it's understandable why there is some cause for concern legitimately. You are either going to be a revolutionary or you're just going to be a footnote in history. Yeah, it was nice, you made a great run. But if you're going to give answers like this, people have a right to be concerned.
Seeing your election has created a lot of buzz. Now that the midterms are underway, that seems to be the focus, but your name is still being dragged into the midterms, right? Let me talk about Hakeem Jeffries for a moment, who now may face a challenge from Chi Osei, who is a member of the DSA. You said that there are local issues that Mr. Osei should be focused on, maybe should remain a councilman. Are you saying he should not run against Hakeem Jeffries?
No, I'm saying that I think the focus should be right here on New York City. I respect the work that Councilmember Osei has done in the council.
But what does that mean? Should he not run?
I think that right now is not the time to be engaging in that kind of a primary. I think.
Really?
Why?
Should we wait to the complete end of the Republic and then try to engage in a primary?
Yeah, that'll be a good time. Again, you have to understand where people are, Zohran. That's why you won. You won because this is a revolutionary moment. And if you think that this is going to be business as usual, or dare I say, a vibe type of mayoral campaign or administration, you are dead wrong. You are not AOC. You are in an infinitely more powerful position than she could ever hope to be in. And you are actually capable of doing it in a way that she's not. So when you are getting bad advice about what you should and shouldn't do, this is not the answer. What you should say is, I'm not getting involved in the primary. Let it be. It's two Democrats running against each other. Let it be. Even if people don't like that answer, I can at least accept it from a strategy standpoint. This makes no sense. Zero sense, zero logic.
Other than falling in line.
Falling in line.
And ultimately serving at the behest of capital. And that is what that does. If you are not supporting a challenge to AIPAC Shakur, right? You're not being serious about wanting to push things in a forward direction. Then you're just all about maintaining things exactly as they are.
TPS, what is wrong with what I just suggested?
I understand that. He is running. Yes, this is a very political situation, obviously. Right. But at the end of the day, somebody who gets in there totally bucking the establishment to then defend somebody who is the establishment and not support somebody who is essentially running in the direction that he just ran his campaign on. It just seems a tad hypocritical.
Just a tad. And again, that's the point. Like I said, there is a way to balance it. He could have said, I am the mayor. I cannot get focused on primary races. He could have even said, you want to take it a step further? They only asked him about Hakeem Jeffries. What if they asked him about Richie Torres? He could have just said, look, I haven't even taken over as mayor yet. There are so many different important components to running this city correctly that I must be focused on right now. I wish she all the luck in the world. I am not getting involved in the race, and that'll be that. He could have easily been diplomatic about it, and I would have accepted it. But to say what he's saying, that's not diplomatic. That's bending the knee. That's what that is. Just like he says here with Mehdi Hassan.
As mayor, you'd be keeping on NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch. Many of your critics on the left say that keeping Tisch would be a continuation of the status quo here in New York City. She's against bail reform. She's spoken out against pro-Palestine protesters. She's even worked in the intelligence division that constructed a surveillance system for Muslims in New York. What do you say to your supporters who are a little bit disillusioned on this one appointment and say, come on, Zohran, why would you keep her on?
I'm not going to keep her on. I'm actually telling her to hit the road tomorrow. She's had her time. I'm just saying what should be said.
He's not going to say that.
I understand that, but we can hope.
So I said in the primary that I would consider keeping on Commissioner Tisch, and then I said in the general that this is a decision I was making to retain her. And much of that had to do with the fact that when Eric Adams had appointed Commissioner Tisch, he had truly stacked the upper echelons of the NYPD with corruption and a complete lack of accountability. And what she has been able to do in the time that she's been commissioner has been to start to root that corruption out, start to deliver accountability and reduce crime across the 5 boroughs. And that this is an appointment that I would make in tandem with delivering on the agenda that we put forward over the course of the primary. That's an agenda that will create a Department of Community Safety.
Yep.
That is an agenda that will ensure that we are dismantling the strategic response group as the way the NYPD responds to protests. And it's an agenda that understands that safety and justice have to be delivered together. This is a decision that fulfills and then develops that.
Are you planning on expanding the size of the New York Police Department?
No, I've said that the number of police officers that the department has is a sufficient number. The most important thing is that we only ask those officers to do the work of policing, as opposed to now, we're asking them to also take on the homelessness crisis, the mental health crisis, so many different examples of the failures of the social safety net. That's going to be the focus of the Department of Community Safety.
Sounds good in theory, but
But you've said before that that's really not what the police are meant to do. So if that is the case, and the NYPD's budget, I think, is like something like, what is it, $6 billion a year, some insane number. Do you really need that many police officers if, like you said, what they could have been doing is like case study and figuring out, cold cases?
Okay, so as somebody, I'm an abolitionist. I don't think we need these people at all. I think they're friggin' useless. But let's say
reality. Let's live in reality.
I'm in reality, Peter. I'm basing my answer on reason, research, empirical evidence, and fact. But let's say hypothetically that we needed to retain a certain amount of, let's say, quote unquote, I'll say law enforcement in air quotes, because they're not enforcing laws, but that we needed that for the crimes that affect our safety, for interpersonal crimes, right? So that's rape, robbery, assault, and homicide, right? Like the big 4, those are like the interpersonal crimes. So that takes up about 4% of police reported crimes in this country, 4%. So I would suggest, and again, I'm an abolitionist. I think that it's all ridiculous. They're there to protect capital. They've never been there to protect us. Let's break it down. Let's get rid of everything but the 4% that they need, because it's only 4% of what they do that is dealing with people that are committing harms, interpersonal harms, 4%. So why would we not cut their budget down to 4%? That's what I would do.
That would be quite the cut, but it's not going to be that significant.
Okay.
Just on Commissioner Tisch, according to the New York Daily News, she received advance notice from the Trump administration about that horrific ICE raid along Canal Street last month, and that she apparently directed NYPD officers to stay away from ICE agents who were doing their jobs. Has that changed your view of her at all? And will that kind of thing be happening next year on your watch as well?
What I will make clear as the leader of this city is that the days of a mayor going on national television and opening the door to civil immigration enforcement, as Mayor Adams did, those days are coming to an end. The NYPD is not going to assist ICE in their operations, and we are going to fulfill the laws of our city and our state, not violate them.
So just to be clear, if a Canal Street happened again, the NYPD commissioner on your watch would not be directing NYPD officers to stay out of it and let ICE do whatever they want?
The NYPD commissioner would not be directing the NYPD to assist ICE in those operations. And I've also made clear that we should hold anyone in this same city and same state to the same set of laws, no matter who they are or what agency they're performing for.
Okay, that's a bad answer.
Terrible.
Again, you can't, I understand. And look, guys, I'm with you. He is under the most pressure of any politician in the United States. I am not for a second downplaying the significance of this moment, what he represents, etc. But it is so easy to get derailed, to capitulate to the point of becoming completely irrelevant. And it can happen very quickly. The goal now, which is on the part of the Bill Ackmans of the world, is to derail him at every turn. That's the plan. Maybe he gets a policy done, but remember, if it's 1 step forward and 3 steps back, then what's the point? Take a
Well,
step
there
forward.
is no point. And if you're keeping on a commissioner who doesn't support things like at a minimum bail reform, you're not moving in the correct direction.